This meeting is being recorded.
Yeah. Yesterday I was talking about microservices, SOA architecture drawbacks, monolithic architecture drawbacks, right? Then we entered into microservices. Okay. Today we are going to discuss about the high level architecture of the, the high level components of microservice architecture, right? So when I use the word high level components, right? What are the things that are going to be there in what? Microservice architecture based application development. But bottom line is very clear. Everyone please listen. The bottom line is very clear. If project is having 200 services, 200 projects as RESTful web services, later we integrate them by taking the support of lot of third party tools and design patterns, right? That's a basic bottom line statement about that. Okay. Spring here. Where is this? 1102. Where is that? Spring Boot Cloud Microservices. What is today's date? 24th. Yes. Okay, guys. Bharat, testing is not a great option to choose, guys. Why? Because nowadays full stack developers also doing testing, and a lot of automation tools have come. So you may start the career, but don't expect growth in the testing. And that is the one domain which will be sinking one or other a day because of AI or other facilities. Anything common, AI will take it. Coding needs some brain. That's why AI takes time to get complete control on it, right? Okay. Microservice application is nothing but developing the services as what? RESTful application plus tools plus design patterns. Microservice application in Spring Boot. Developing services as what? Spring Boot application plus Spring Cloud module services or tools plus design pattern plus lot of third party tools. Okay. Overview of microservice architecture. This is the diagram that we are going to understand today, right? Okay, now listen. Simple diagram, but keep one bottom line in mind. Flipkart.com, 20 services. Okay. 20 projects, 20 services, 20 projects. All are interlinked through various third-party tools and design pattern. But how Flipkart.com works for the end user? For all these 20 backend, one UI will be there. That UI can be developed using Angular, React, or Spring Boot MVC or Spring MVC. Because of UI, Flipkart.com look like a single entity. But in the background, every service is what? Separate project. I think now you understood, guys. End user is enjoying all the services, though they are individual services, because all of them are integrated with what? Single UI that is developed either by using Angular or React or Spring MVC, Spring Boot MVC. These are quite popular nowadays, right? Okay. That means right now what we are learning is backend. RESTful web services, microservice based applications development, whatever we are planning, what we are learning, that comes under what? Backend development. Right now we are not doing front end development, boss. Right now what we are doing is what? Backend development. Is that clear, boss? Come on, everyone. Super. Okay. So many things, guys. This is overview of microservice. Don't try to get into technicalities. What is what? Don't worry. How to implement? Don't worry. Try to get the overall idea, overall pictures. It is like listening the movie story before picturization. Yes or no? Na? Later, by taking some amount of time, each thing we try to construct. Fine. So for example, okay, now look at this. How many services are there? Many services are there. So every service is developed as a separate project, nothing but separate microservice. How many projects? 20 projects. 20 microservices. All are interlinked na boss? Yes or no na? At the time of development, microservices are nothing but REST controller. But do you think REST controllers are just REST controllers, or they will be dealing with the service repositories also? They need to talk with the database. Yes or no? Na? All these microservices take the support of Spring Data JPA module to interact with what? SQL database software. And Spring Data NoSQL module. Spring Data NoSQL module to interact with what? NoSQL database software. Is it not interesting, Rababu? Come on, everyone. They are interacting with what? SQL database software by using Spring Data JPA. They are using what? NoSQL data. They are interacting with what? NoSQL database software by using Spring Data NoSQL modules, like what? Spring Data, MongoDB, and all this thing. Okay, don't think that all of them will use same date. No, no, no. Every microservice is a separate layered application, right? Microservice one, its own REST controller, its own service class, its own repository, its own database. Maybe all of them may use same database. That's up to your designing, boss. If you don't take separate, if you take separate database, no problem. All of them take same database, no problem. But they generally prefer separate database. Why? Few microservice wants to use no SQL DB. Few microservice wants to use what? SQL DB. So everyone uses their own database, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think these two things, microservices are separate projects in the form of REST controllers. Okay, all are layered application. Every project is, every microservice is layered application. Okay, they use their own Spring Data JPA to talk with SQL database software. They also use their own what? Spring Data NoSQL to talk with their own database software. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on, everyone. Super. Okay, now listen. Now listen. These applications wants to go for messages based communication. What communication? Seriously wants to go for message based communication. Okay. Microservice 1 wants to pass message to microservice 2. Microservice 2 wants to pass message to microservice 3. At that time, Spring Data JPA, Spring Data MongoDB, not good, guys. We need to work with JMS APIs, Java Messaging Service, or we can think about working with Apache Kafka. Kafka, JMS, all are interrelated, guys. They enable messages based communication between software components. Components may be two classes or two RESTful web services or SOAP based web services. Sir, why I need to go for message based communication? Give me one scenario. I'm already happy with the method calls, request response based method communication, right? Yeah. Request response communication or method calls based communication is always synchronous communication, online communication. Both need to be active at the same time. Both caller, receiver, client, server, both should be in active state, then only communication possible. I'm giving request to nareshit.com. Okay, if nareshit.com is down, can it take my request? Okay. When nareshit.com ready with the response, if my browser is closed, can I get the response? So that means both browser and nareshit.com should be in active state, na? In request response model, come on. Yes or no, na, boss? Everyone should alert, boss. Method calls also same story. When client calls the method of the server, method executes in server. When it gives the result, client has to be ready to receive the result or not, guys. So you take request response model communication or method call based communication, both client and server should be in active state or not, guys. This is called synchronous communication. Synchronous means both should be in active mode. Online communication, both should be in what? Active mode. But you take manufacturing company, my dear. Manufacturing department will work in 3 shifts 24 by 7. Inventory stock room will work only till 5 o'clock or maybe 9 to 10 o'clock, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Accounts department, large shops, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. In between 1 hour lunch break, right? Yes or no, na, guys? Management people are there. They don't have times. Because they are the owners of the company. They don't have any times. Right? Let us assume in that car manufacturing company, manufacturing is developed as separate microservice. Inventory is developed as separate microservice. Account separate microservice. Management people separate microservice. Midnight 2 o'clock, manufacturing people realized tires are going to be out of stock. They hardly come 1 2 days. Okay, let's put the order. But midnight 2 o'clock, inventory people are active? No. ऐसा no na boss. So that time, online communication going to work out? Request response model communication going to work out? Method calls based communication is going to work out? So we need to entertain message based communication. Yeah, very simple. Between source and destination, source microservice, destination microservice, source component, destination component, there will be one middleman called mom. What is that? Mom. Message oriented middleware. What is that? Yeah, tell me. Source person, that means manufacturing microservice sends. Tires are out of stock. Within 2 days, send me tires. How many? Some 100 tires, they said. That message is kept in the mom, no? Okay. Whenever inventory microservice is ready and active, it will connect to my mom and get the message. So midnight 2 o'clock he informed it is not going to what? Inventory microservice. It is there in the mom until inventory microservice is active and connected. Once connected, it gets the message. Okay, by seeing that message, okay, he sent the whatever stock is there, he sent to manufacturing. Okay. But he realized in the inventory also stock is not there. Let's put order to a tire company. Let's place order to tire company. But for that one, budget sanctioning required. What is required, guys? So he prepared some proposal and that is night 8 o'clock. He sent proposal. 8 o'clock accounts lots of will be there, will not be there. So if it is message based communication, night 8 o'clock he will keep the message in mom. Next day morning, whenever they come and activate their system, message goes to accounts department. Yes or no, na boss? Right. Okay, fine. Account department given approval. But after their approval also, management signature is required or not? 1 2 people signature is required or not required? Definitely required. Right, boss? Definitely required. Uh, but management having any timings? No. So again, as a message, they will keep on what? Mom. Whenever management fellows are active, they come and give the approval. Okay, like this, not only request response model, not only method call model, sometimes we need what? Message oriented communication or not, guys. So these microservices take the support of what? Message queues, Kafka, JMS, Camel, RabbitMQ, and number of things for message-based communication. For mail-based communication, mailing. For batch processing, batch. For caching, Redis. For caching, it will use. That means a lot of concepts it is going to use. That's what I'm trying to say. These microservices are just not REST controller, Babu. If needed, they talk to database using what? Data JPA. They talk to NoSQL databases using what? MongoDB or Cassandra. Ramon, come on. Yes or no? And they talk to whom, guys? They go for message-based communication using what? Kafka, JMS kind of thing, right? A number of things they do are not there, guys. Come on, everyone. Okay. Okay. Yes, boss. Okay, now tell me, all these microservices should be in a position to communicate with each other. Must be in a position to communicate with each other. I want reply, guys. Must be in a position to communicate with each other. What do you say, guys? They must be in a position to communicate with each other or not, guys? Okay, that's great. Must be in a position to communicate with each other, right? Yes. Now tell me here. When they are in a position to communicate with each other, come on, I want reply, guys. Come on, everyone. For making that communication happening, come on, everyone. All these microservices, first of all, should be registered in a common place, na boss? Yes or no, na? And that common place is nothing but Eureka server. What server? Every microservice will be registered in what? Eureka server. Okay, so that other microservice can locate and start communication with microservice, right? Other day, some Ronak Babu or someone else asked, are you covering Eureka server, sir? At least now you understood what is the role of Eureka server, boss. All microservices should be registered in Eureka server so that they become discoverable for what? Other microservices to enable the communication, right? That's why this Eureka server, Netflix company has given Eureka server, also called as R&D server, register and discover server, right, boss? Register and discover server. I hope you understood the purpose of Eureka server, guys. Compulsory. Otherwise, it won't become RESTful microservice. It will remain as RESTful. If you don't register your RESTful web service in Eureka server, you can still feel that one as a RESTful component. When you register with Eureka server, you are moving that one as a microservice. And many other things also we add, boss. But minimum thing is what? A RESTful web service that is registered with what? Eureka server can be called as what? Microservice. Otherwise, microservice is also RESTful project only, right? Okay, now listen. I have a thing. I have so many microservices now. Let us assume all of them are talking to same database software, right? In every microservice application.properties, I should add JDBC driver details. When they are talking to same database, same details I have to add. When they are talking to same database software, same details we need to add or not, guys? Definitely same details we need to add or not. I want reply, my dear. Come on, everyone. Instead of adding same JDBC driver detail, same JPA detail in every microservice application.property file, you place in GitHub. What is there? Array, code repository, GitHub. Red cap, please be active. You place in what? GitHub. And link that GitHub with what? All the microservices through a special software called config server. What server? Through a special software called what? Config server. So all these microservices take the support of config server to collect the common properties from GitHub in multiple microservices or not, guys? Yeah, fine. Let me summarize what we discussed. Every service is developed as a separate microservice. Okay. And all these microservices will talk to SQL database using Spring Data JPA. Will talk to NoSQL databases using NoSQL DB modules. Spring Data NoSQL modules, right? All these microservices can do message-based communication using JMS and Kafka, can do mailing using Spring Mail, okay, can do batch processing using Spring Batch, can do XYZ operation using other modules, right? Okay. All these microservices must be registered in Eureka server, okay, in order to make them discoverable for other microservices, right, boss? Right. If all these microservices are talking to same database, are doing same thing, looking for same properties, same configuration, instead of placing in every microservice property file, and whenever those details are changed, modifying in every microservice, better to keep in what? Common place, central place called GitHub, GitLab kind of repository. Bring them and link them to what? Microservices by using a special server called config server. Array, Eureka, config, all these are what? Third party tools, okay, and various design pattern that are already implemented to make normal RESTful web service as microservices. Are you getting my point there, guys? Okay, now listen carefully. Next, what we got, guys? Circuit breaker concept. Sounding very differently now, boss. Ronak Babu, all your words are coming. Other day you are excited, na? Will you cover that? Will you cover this? Mr. Babu, yes, come back. You are interested. That's good. But don't over excite. Okay. You are interested, but baby does not take birth in 4th month, na? Baby takes birth in 9th month only, right? Ah. Okay. So right topic will come in right time and right order, right? Oh, come back, come back, come back. I'm executing microservices that are there in communication. Source microservice executed smoothly. It is internally communicating with the destination microservice, right? That time, destination microservice is down because both are different projects. Now, up and down are common, right? I got a problem, but I don't want to present that problem as a technical message. I want to present the problem in the UI as a non-technical message, right? For that one, we need a special component called circuit breaker. As of now, available circuit breakers are Netflix heatstreak and resilience 4J. Netflix heatstreak is outdated. We are not going to worry about it. Right now, the popular one is what? Resilience 4J. So for custom message, this much tool is required, not just for custom message. To guide source microservice, okay, next to 20 seconds, don't give any request to destination microservice because it is already in down state. Yes, na boss? To have that kind of special configurations, we need to work with this what? Resilience force a circuit breaker. Okay, it's very interesting, boss. Very interesting. See, in source microservice, we do try for communication. Communication failed. Okay, we can tell to source microservice once communication failed, next to 20 seconds, even though request comes to go to destination communication, don't go. Execute alternate method giving dummy technical message. After 20 seconds, try once, again problem comma, for next 20 seconds, don't attempt to communicate. Is it not interesting, Rabab? For example, was in our home, MCB will be there. Whenever high voltage comes, okay, the MCB will trips. Trips means what? It will stop sending power to other components. It will cut the power supply. Main circuit breaker. MCB means what? Main circuit breaker. Here also doing the same thing. Na? But it is bit smart MCB, boss. It's not dumb, blind MCB. It's a smart. Okay, when it comes to MCB, high voltage trips, manually we have to on it. But this is not like that. This is smart MCB kind of. First microservice started communicating to second one, exception came. It automatically executes one dummy method which we specify. From the dummy method, dummy output goes, that will display as a message. But I have taken some time as threshold time. What time? Threshold time 20 minutes. Next to 20 minutes, any number of request comes, they directly execute dummy method without attempting to go to destination. Interesting or not, guys? Okay, 20 minutes over. Again, attempts once. Success, communication happen. Failure, dummy message, anyhow dummy message. Again 20 minutes, whatever request comes for communication to destination from source microservice will not attempt to go to a destination. It will not waste network round trip. It will not get the error. Again executes the dummy method. So it is just to MCB, a smart MCB. Or in our life also we behave like that only. We call one person, not lifted. We wait for 10 minutes. Again we call. Lifted. We talk. Not lifted. This time we wait 20 minutes na. Especially when boy-girl relationship is very sensitive. Aisa no na. When girl says, do you have any common sense? If I don't lift the phone, you have to wait for some time. Why are you calling me back to back? Aisa no na. Maybe sometime boy also shouts on the girl. Okay, understand, I'm other call, I'm in meeting, I'm not lifted. Phone means what? I occupied somewhere. Why are you calling again? Why are you behaving mental? This kind of conversation happens or not there? People are connected, people are okay. So in that, once that heated argument happened, next time onward people behaves very maturely or not. One call, not lifted, wait for 10 minutes, again call one time, not lifted. So initially you are blind circuit breaker. Later you are becoming what? Smart circuit breaker or not, guys? Yes. So I hope you understood the purpose of the circuit breaker. Sir, why all these things? Or if circuit breaker is not there, back to back 100 requests come, first request failed, 99 request fails, we know that. But still attempting is meaningless, na? He has not lifted at first minute means not going to lift in second minute, not going to lift in third minute. But still, if you try, unnecessarily getting scolding means nothing will be there, right? Yes or no? Na? Okay, fine. Yeah, it's everyone might have gone through that situation. Okay. Yeah, this is about what? Circuit breaker. That means breaks the communication. Breaks the communication. That communication may be within the same microservice or across the multiple but mainly across the multiple microservices. Especially when microservices are there in communication, this is very, very important aspect or not, guys? Super, guys. Okay, now concentrate. Okay, now listen, guys. I am doing a big task which is having multiple subtasks. Subtask 1 is done by microservice 1. Subtask 2 is done by microservice 2. Subtask 3 is done by microservice 3. Okay, now focus. Focus means focus. All these three subtasks are modifying the data of three different database software. Come on, guys. Three microservices means three different locations, three different databases. Okay. Now, if any subtask fails, overall main task I want to fail. If all succeeded, overall main task I want to commit. Not in one database, in all three databases. Right, boss? Come on, my dear. I want reply from you people. If one subtask fails, remaining sub two tasks also rolled back, should be rolled back. If all three subtasks succeeded, main task should be committed. But now listen carefully. Here we definitely need transaction management. Do everything or nothing. That we know that. But this do everything or nothing is two models, guys. Local transaction, distributed transaction. If all operations are happening on single database, local transaction management is sufficient. But in this situation, the activities are happening on what? Single database or multiple database? Multiple DBs. When things are happening on multiple DBs, we need to use local transaction management or distributed transaction management. Distributed transaction. For that one, we have third-party API support, Etamarcus, Narayana. Yeah, Narayana is also one. Maybe Indian created that. Okay. Narayana, this kind of third-party tool support is there or not there, guys? Super, guys. Okay, on these microservices, we need to enable distributed transaction management to apply do everything or nothing principle on certain sensitive tasks that are having multiple subtasks to complete, on certain sensitive tasks that are having what? Multiple subtasks to complete. Is it not interesting, Babu? Come on. Everyone getting my point there or not there? Convince it with me, guys. Come on, everyone. Super, guys. Tell me next one. Okay, now listen. Right now, one microservice is there, lot of microservices are there. Lot of there. Okay? Every microservice will have their own log file. Yes? Okay. But we want to see all log files together in a single place. Yes, na boss? And while understanding flow of execution, we need to go through multiple log files. Come on, my dear. See, first microservice log message will come, log file 1. Second microservice log message will come, log file 2. Third microservice log message will come, log file 3, right? This is very interesting. We have to focus. But I want to feel the flow by getting log message in a proper order. But they are not there in single log file. They are there in what? Multiple log file. So some tool is required to collect the inputs from all the log file, to present in a proper GUI environment, and to help us understanding the flow part or not. For this purpose, we need to use distributed logging and tracing tools, either ELK stack. Those who have done DevSec apps with me, I already discussed about what? ELK stack. Or by using what? Sleuth Jipkin is outdated, boss. Nowadays they are not popular. Sleuth Jipkin, I'm not scolding anyone. I'm taking the names of the tools only, right? Okay. Sleuth Jipkin. But nowadays Sleuth Jipkin is gone out or dead. In that place, what has come? ELK stack. Once again, I'm repeating, when multiple microservices are there, there's a chance of having multiple log file. But when you want to use those multiple log files, come on, when you want to use when you want to use when those multiple log files, come on guys, for logging and tracing activity, there should be a tool which gathers messages from all the log file, presents them in a beautiful GUI manner, specifying the order, right? Specifying the order. Are you getting my pointer? Yes, guys. For that purpose, ELK stack is there. ELK stack is combination of three tools, and they are very good collecting messages from multiple log file, processing them, and storing in what? Presenting them in a beautiful manner, right? Presenting them in what? Beautiful manner. That is what? ELK stack. Elastic, Logstash, and Kibana. Total three things are there or not there? Super boss. Okay, now listen carefully. Next one. Ah, whenever we develop the project as Springboard project, not only anyhow we code functional features. What do you mean by functional features? The requirements. Bank project now, opening account, closing account, withdraw, deposit, transfer money, X, Y, Z. Yes or no, na boss? They are the functional features. There will be non-functional features. Performance monitoring. Nowhere related to project requirement, but we take it to check whether things are happening fastly or slowly. Transfer money method is doing its work in how many seconds? More seconds, performance is bad. Less seconds, performance is good. If good, no tension. If not bad, we do try to improvise the code. We try to fine tune the settings. We try to use the best software to get the better performance or not, guys. But this is a functional feature or non-functional feature? It is not a functional feature. Definitely it is what? Non-functional feature, right, boss? Definitely it is not a functional feature. Definitely it is what? Non. Similarly, I want to know how many threads are involved in my application execution. That is functional or non-functional? Non-functional, right? I want to know what are the processes involved in my application. Non-functional. I want to know how much memory is under utilization, how many objects are created. Non-functional. Why? What you will do by knowing all these things are? Array, stack stack memory will be used now while executing logics. More and more objects are unnecessarily created. Then stack overflow problem may come. Yes, na? By having by getting the count of the objects, count of the threads, okay, and by keeping threshold count for those things. After when the count reached to this level, project is going to behave badly. So when that threshold level is reached, okay, threshold level reached, one alert message comes, and by using that alert message, some maintenance engineer manually started deleting unnecessarily threads or not, guys? Or they will create some process to delete unnecessarily jobs or not, guys? Yeah, now listen carefully. In Spring Boot, we have a concept called actuators. which deals with the non-functional features like performance monitoring. Okay, next thread dump information or process dump information, memory information. Okay, a project is active or inactive, how many objects are created. You just enable it, those features will come automatically. Okay, but right now I'm going to add actuators in one microservice or lots of microservices. Lots of microservices, right, boss? I'm going to add them in one microservice or lots of microservices. Lots of microservices, right? Okay, when non-functional features are added in each microservice, I need a single GUI to monitor these non-functional features of all microservices in single place or not, guys. For that purpose, we have admin, Spring Boot, admin or dashboard. Admin UI or dashboard, guys. We have a admin server. What server, guys? We can happily take the support of admin server or not, guys. We can happily start dealing with what server, guys? Admin server. Is it not interesting, Babu? Come on, everyone. Is it not an interesting aspect now, boss? Come on. We can happily take the support of admin server here or not, guys. We can happily take the support of admin server over here or not, guys. Is it not interesting aspect, boss? Once again, we add actuators which are ready made, giving all these facilities, or sometimes we develop on our own. We put in every microservice, but I need a single screen. Okay, gathering information about all actuators together for all microservices. For that purpose, we need to take the support of what, guys? Admin UI or not. We definitely need to take the support of admin UI or not, guys. Say something, my dear. I want reply, guys. Super, guys. Is that clear, my dear? I want reply, my dear. Come on, everyone. Yeah, and I think above 3 and below 3, 6, and these three boxes all are covered now. Okay, now let us try to understand up to this. Number one, all microservices are what? Individual projects as a REST controller as layered application. As part of this layered application development, they use Spring Data JPA for interacting with SQL databases. They use Spring Data NoSQL module to interact with NoSQL database. They also take the support of what? Message queues for message based communication. Mail API for mailing activity. Next, batch API for batch processing. Come on, guys. Lot of options they use. Next one. All these microservices will be registered in what? Eureka server to make them discoverable for other microservices. To make them discoverable for what? Other microservices. Right, boss? Full image is not coming. Full image means my image. Huh? Okay. Now coming up, boss. Right. You worries about unnecessarily things. Okay. Next one. When one microservice is talking to another microservice, there is a possibility of getting exception when my destination microservice is not there. To display non-technical message in that situation, we need a circuit breaker. Not only for that, okay, once failure comes, instead of attending to communicate back to back, okay, so I want to take some threshold time for not going for communication but giving dummy messages, right? For that one, we need the support of circuit breaker or not. We need to take the support of circuit breaker or not, guys. Array, content not coming up. Maybe check your net connection. From my side, no issue, guys. From my side, no issue, boss. Abhishek. Okay. From that side, circuit breaker will be there in the picture or not, guys? Super, guys. Every microservice may use its own database. Suppose certain task is completed by taking the support of what? Multiple microservices. But they are writing changes in multiple databases. Okay. Uh, to apply do everything or nothing principle on multiple databases based data commit or rollback activities, we need local transaction management or distributed transaction. Okay, what is there? Atamarcus and Narayana is there. Right now, boss? Yes. Every microservice might be having their own log file. Okay. So to get all those log messages in single place, to get all those log messages in single place, come on, I want reply, boss. Come on, everyone. To get all those log messages in what? Single place. To get all those log messages in what? Single place. And to enable active communication, we need the support of what, guys? Distributed logging or what? Tracing tool. Number one, ELK stack is there. Number two, what? Sleuth Jipkin is there. But nowadays, everyone is preferring what? ELK. Super, guys. Next one. Spring Boot has come up with the actuators concept, which are ready-made non-functional features. Actually, they are ready-made RESTful web services dealing with the non-functional feature, like thread dump, process dump, memory dump, all this stuff. Okay, they can be applied on every microservice to enjoy non-functional features, right? Okay, but I want to see all microservice related, all non-functional feature in a single place. For that one, we need to take the support of what server? Admin server. What server, guys? Admin server. So for that, we have a admin server which provides what? Admin dashboard in single place, providing every information or not, guys? Just providing every information or not, guys? Come on, everyone. Is it not an interesting aspect, guys? Is it not an interesting aspect, guys? I want reply from you people. Come on, everyone. Okay, guys. Okay, now focus. All microservices are separate projects. They have their own individual base URLs. Come on, each microservice may have a number of endpoints, separate request paths. But every microservice will have their own base URL. Yes, no, boss? Point number one. Point number two. Some microservice may have more requests. Some microservice may have less requests. For some microservice, I should take more instances. From microservice, I should take less instances. Point number two, right? Every microservice is a separate project. They have their own URL. Problem. Point number one. Point number two. Some microservices are more regularly used. They need more instances. Some microservices are lessly used. We need less instances. Fine. Okay. Now I'm presenting my problem now. Okay. Front end, Flipkart.com wants to communicate with all these microservices, right? If I tell to that Flipkart fellow or Amazon fellow to communicate with the 200 microservices, you should remember 200 URLs. Will he really show interest of remembering 200 URLs? Number one point. Number two point. If I tell to Flipkart fellow, Amazon fellow, there are multiple instances for what? Search microservice. You should use your own load balancer to decide which one is having less load factor and choose that one and communicate. Will you show interest, boss? Will not show. Yes or no, na, boss? That's why, that's why we use one more component called API gateway. Ronak Babu, one more word has come, ra. Mr. Ronak Babu. Okay, one more word has come. What is that? API gateway. Gateway means what? Entry and exit point, na, boss. Gateway. Airport is a gateway, right? It's an entry and entry point to certain city, right, boss? API gateways are there. A special component or special microservice is there. That is what API gateway. What it will do, uses its base URL, okay, and exposes to client. And everyone will start communicating with all these microservices using its base URL, right? Plus extra information about specific microservice. Base URL plus extra information about specific microservice or specific endpoint that they want to communicate. So then what happens, guys? All the requests will be basically trapped by what? API gateway. From there, it will delegate to appropriate microservice. So that what happened? The front end fellow, do you need to remember 200 URLs or one base URL? And this API gateway is also acting as a load balancer. It will have its own load balancer, boss. Right? So when I say API gateway, trap the request. Come on, trap the request. Go to so and so microservice. But it found 3 instances for that microservice, right? So API gateway also acts as what? Special microservice, that too load balancer, right? So what happened? It will pick up the less load factor instance. Come on, my dear. Gets that instance and communicates to that instance. And next, once processing is over, communication is over, result again comes to API gateway. From there, it will go to front end. That means it is acting as a API gateway, trapping the entry, trapping the exit. Convinced or not? It is like counselor that is there, counselor that is there in the any office. She will trap everyone entry. Ask what you want, sir. What do you want, madam? Okay, customer says XYZ. From there, he will be delegated to other place or not. From there, he will be delegated to other place or not, guys. API gateway also doing the same thing. Convinced, my dear. Since it is trapping every request and every response at API gateway level, I can do some extra monitoring about the application request and responses. I can apply security at API gateway that is indirectly applied on every microservice. Come on, my dear. Okay. Array. API gateway, what it will do. Right now, so many API gateways are there. Initially, Netflix Zulu was popular, but now everyone is using what? Cloud API gateway. Cloud API gateway is the latest. Yes, some third-party things also there, but in Java environment, microservice environment, I generally observe only 2 things. One is what? Joule API. Other what? Cloud API gateway. One is Joule API gateway. Other one is what? Cloud API gateway. Convinced, my dear? Come on, everyone. Kong is also an API gateway given by third party. There are so many API gateways in the market. Now, what is the basic story now? Concentrate. Front end gives the request. API gateway takes the request, right? And it has got load balancer. And API gateway takes the additional information that is there at the end, maps the request to certain microservice. For that one, it will go to Eureka server. But for that microservice, 3 instances it found. It will pick up the less load factor instance and happily communicates with that microservice. If needed, that microservice communicates with other microservice. Somehow request processing and task is completed. Back to first microservice, from their API gateway, from there to client application. Since API gateway taking care of routing, okay, we can apply common request and response related logics or not, guys. I can apply security kind of things or not, guys. I can apply security kind of facilities or not, guys. Come on. Arey, what happened to internet, guys? All of a sudden. Why every day this problem, guys? Am I audible now? Am I audible now, guys? Am I loud and clear now, guys? Just adjust for some time. Am I loud and clear, guys? Come on, everyone. Yeah, come back, come back. Yeah, what are the API gateways that are there? Okay, Cloud API gateway is there, Joule API gateway, Kong is there. Kong is outdated. Earlier Netflix Joule, now a Cloud API gateway, right? Okay, this API gateway can do what? Routing. Routing means what? After trapping request, it can point to separate appropriate microservice. That is called routing. Okay. Filters. It can apply filter to enable extra logging at API gateway level. Next, SSO, single sign-on, security kind of thing, guys. What is there? Security kind of thing. And it will collect the data in what format? JSON with HTTP. While receiving JSON with HTTP, while sending also JSON with HTTP. While coming JSON with HTTP, while going JSON with HTTP. Convinced, my dear? Come on, everyone. Got the clarity, boss? Okay. I think you got overall idea, boss. Are every day taking one topic and implementing is nothing but microservice. That is the subject. SSO, single sign-on, nothing but security, one kind of security. Okay, I will tell why they named single sign-on. Array, this is separate project, this is separate project, this is separate. Array, SK routing means delegation, ra. Basic English meanings also you don't know, SK routing. Every request it will trap and routes to appropriate microservice. That is called routing. Come on. When I'm using the words, you will sleep. Later, as a big question. Routing is nothing but what? Taking the request and linking them to what? Appropriate microservice. Right? Now, what is the use of SS1? Okay. Now listen. This is separate microservice. This is separate microservice. Instead of performing logging here, logging here, logging here, you log into API gateway. Indirectly, you log it into other one. Na? That is single sign-on feature. Come on. Already you are enjoying single sign-on feature. Where you will tell. You log into Gmail, you are indirectly log into YouTube. Come on, boss. You are indirectly log into 30-40 products of Google. Google Translate logged in. Google Google Drive logged in. Google Classroom logged in, right? In your browser, if you log in by using Google gmail.com, indirectly you logged into what? 30-40 Google products are not, guys. That means that is CSI, SSO. You already enjoyed SSO. You're daily enjoying SSO, right? So did you ever get the feeling I should log into Gmail? Sorry, I should log into YouTube separately? Google Drive separately? Why? No, because you log into Gmail, that will help you to log into a number of things. After all these are what? Google products, right? Yeah, this SSO can be implemented using different technique. JWT, JSON Web Tokens, okay. OAuth 2.x, Open Authorization 2.x, OTKA, Okta. Okay. What is that? Okta. I know you connected somewhere. Okay, guys. What is that? Okta. Okta is what? Yeah, one more API for implementing security, guys. Yes or no, na boss? Right. Hmm. Okay, you got the overall idea or not, guys? Now, what are the possible front ends? Web application, Spring Boot MVC application, mobile application, Android or iOS application. Next, UI clients, Angular or React running in what? Node.js. Third party integrations, .NET or PHP application or what? Salesforce application. All these are front end, boss. Front end you can develop using anything, right? Okay, now this is called front end. Okay, this entire story is what? Back end, but exposed directly. Everything will be exposed through what? Common API gateway. I hope you understood everything, guys. I think you got the basic idea. Okay, can I ask a few questions? Sir, Chicky, my dear. SSO includes security. SSO means security. Okay? Chicky, if you have half knowledge, can you keep quiet? You cannot reveal your name and you are talking about security. Huh? You cannot face me and you are talking about security. Come on, boss. It's like donkeys talking about dogs. Right? Leave it. Fine. Yeah, SSO we implement using Spring Security, JWT, OAuth, Okta. These many things. Spring Security also we use, Okta also we use, OAuth also we use. Right, boss? Right, boss. Right. Okay, let me ask few questions to check how many things. Okay, microservices are together single project or individual projects? Individual projects of type REST controller or normal controller class. They are individual layered applications or all together layered application. They are individual layered application. These layered application wants to talk with the same database or different database. What module they use? Spring Data JPA. They want to talk with what? No SQL databases. What module they use? What module they use? I want reply, guys. Huh? Okay, guys. What module they use, guys? Spring Data, no SQL. Spring Data, no SQL modules are there. MongoDB kind. Okay, they want to do messaging. What module they use? Spring Boot JMS, Kafka, etc., etc. They want to do mailing, mail API. They want to do batch processing. Okay, guys. They are using different concept for a different purpose or not. Yeah, they want to enable caching to reduce network round trips between what? Microservice and database software. Redis cache. Redis cache is for caching purpose, boss. Okay, boss. Now listen. Microservices are basically REST controller. When they become microservices, when they are registered with Eureka server to make each microservice discoverable for other microservice. To make each microservice discoverable for what? Other microservice. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on, everyone. Okay. Now, I ask one more question, guys. I don't want to write common properties in every microservice application dot properties. What is the right place to place them? No, GitLab, GitHub kind of thing. But how to link that GitLab, GitHub properties with multiple microservices? Using what server? Config server, right? Okay. Next, whenever exceptions are raised within the same microservice or in multiple microservice communication, how to handle the exceptions? How to handle the exceptions? Come on. Circuit, no, to handle exception, we can go regular process. But how to make that exception handling generating dummy messages, circuit breaker. How to make certain communication not happening for certain amount of time whenever exception is raised. Huh? Circuit breaker concept. What concept, guys? What concept, guys? Circuit breaker concept, right, guys? That's great, guys. Next one. In Spring Boot microservice, we add non-functional feature through actuators. But I don't want to see each microservice non-functional feature separately. I want to see in a single place. What is the special server I should add, guys? Admin server, right, guys? Okay. Every microservice is having its own log file, but I don't want to see each log file separately. I want to see all log files together and for tracing and debugging activities. What is the what is the tool we have to use? ELK stack we have to use. Or sleuth Jipkin also fine. Okay, now when certain task is completed using multiple microservices, using multiple database software, I want to run those task related activities by applying do everything or nothing principle. By applying do everything or nothing principle. For that one, what is the transaction management I should use? What are the tools we have for distributed transaction management? Huh? Narayana, Narayana. Atomarcus are what? Narayana. Okay, now listen. Every microservice is a separate project having its own URL. But from UI, I don't want to remember those many URLs. I want to remember one base URL. And later I want to communicate with what? Particular microservice based on the additional info I provide on the top of base URL. To implement this concept, and to also perform load balancing while picking the right instance of certain microservice. What is the concept I should introduce? Huh? API gateway. Interesting or not? Okay. Using this API gateway, what are the activities we do? Number one, routing, trapping the request, passing to. Those who are asking what is routing, now listen carefully. Routing, taking the request, linking to appropriate microservice is called routing. Next, we apply some filters for more extra logging activities. And we also do SSO, security activities. Array, instead of doing on every microservice, you can do on what? API. Indirectly applying security everywhere or not there. And this API gateway collects the data in the form of JSON over HTTP, sends the data in the form of JSON over HTTP. Are you getting my point there, guys? Super. I think you got overall idea about microservices. And someone asks, can you give overview of microservice architecture? Draw this diagram as it is. Maybe front end you need not to take elaborately, just write UI. If someone asks what that UI can be, you list out all the possibilities. But the second part of the diagram is there, that you have to take as it is. Not only here, in the internet also, almost similar diagram will be there. How MVC flow is important, and similarly, microservice overview also very, very important. Okay, Ravinder, Ravinder Vadar, okay? Ravinder Vadar, you need baby in first month only? Okay, then you get the pregnancy. Worst fellow. Will you build SOA architecture project? Sorry, that is not our scope, guys. Already, hmm, already I spend time on RESTful web service, though it is not there in a syllabus because of microservice. Now don't ask me SOA. Huh? It takes 1 year course. Already it is running 4 5 months easily, right? Okay. Arre, don't count holidays, Ranayana. Dasara 1 week you have taken. Pongal 1 week you have taken. If you add me in my list, how it will work out, guys? Why baby example? Because you are behaving more than baby. That's why. Okay. How long? Are when not started or when start? When started, when over. Okay, Ronak Babu, on the day of joining, someone asks you, when are you going to quit the job? Is it okay for you? Huh? Okay, now I am asking, when are you going to die, Mr. Ronak Babu? When is your last day of death? Muddy fella. Oh, don't know, na? I also don't know. Okay. Yes. Target date of batch completion. Tentatively, I am saying February last week. Okay. Including weekend common topics and other things. Tomorrow, 11 o'clock class is also there. We cannot now relax, boss. Already we relaxed a lot in Pangal. Okay. So tomorrow, 11 o'clock class is there. 7 o'clock class is there. Sunday, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. is confirmed. Yeah. Let's see what we can do now. Yeah, I think I want to show google.com. Microservice architecture diagram. Microservice architecture diagram. 11/7. Tomorrow, 11/7. Microservice images. Yeah. I'm just checking. Anyone has given similar diagram like us? Mostly might have given. Check it out. What's happening, guys? Why? Yeah. Look at this diagram, guys. This is monolith all together in one place. This is what? Microservice. This is what? Microservice. Okay. That's great. Yeah. Now look at the down part. Look at the down part. Yeah, same thing. But our diagram is better diagram. Right? Our diagram is API gateway, service. Maybe those services may talk with what? Remember, here this service discovery is nothing but Eureka. Okay, this is some management. Yeah, we have our diagram is better diagram, right? Fine, boss. Let's see other diagrams. Maybe this is better diagram. Okay. No. Same thing. Client, web server, up to this web application, leave it. Here what? Uh, Balancer kind of thing, API gateway, MQ broker, and multiple other microservices. No, here, our diagram only perfect diagram. Just go through that. I'm just trying to give one diagram which you can refer later. Which you can refer later. No, no, boss. Only basic diagram they are giving. No one has given elaborated diagram like this. Let it be. Let it be, guys. Let it be. That's not a big issue. Fine. If found, just pass to me because if found, pass to me because I just want to give one systematic diagram. Nothing else is there. And everything is explained. What is local transaction management? Points are written. Don't think that you have to mug up all those things. Everything is clearly written, boss. Right? Yes. Okay. Now let me upload the document. Yeah. Tomorrow onwards, we will be having coding on micro. First, we'll keep Eureka server ready. Ronak Babu, your Eureka server ready tomorrow, right? Ronak means glowing. Ronak means happiness. Yeah, Mr. Happy Babu. Yes, guys. Where is your batch code? 16.8. What is this? Microservices. Right. Fine. Where is that? This one? No. Where is this? 1102. Where is that? 1102. Cloud microservices. 24th one. Right, boss? 24th one. Super. Okay. Super. Okay. Tomorrow you have a two sessions. One is 11 a.m. session. Other one is what? 7 p.m. session. Okay. Attend both session. Both are important. One is continuation of regular class. Other one is what? Other one. Thank you. Have a nice time, guys. Have a nice time. Ronak Babu, it is not security, Ra. It is a common topic is what? Exception handling.